Good morning, guys. It's Jen Silverian at Nadexa Group. I hope everyone is doing well. Today's topic is disruption to the creative process, something that in the advertising industry we are very much familiar with because we are asked day in, day out to produce innovative work under deadline pressure. And whether that's a 30-second TV spot or a website or a strategy deck, greatness must occur within a couple of hours often. So I was turned on to a great essay on this topic. It was written in 2009 by Paul Graham, and it's called The Maker's Schedule and the Manager's Schedule. And a little bit of background on Paul. He was a computer programmer and Silicon Alley investor. He is one of the founders of Y Combinator, which is a VC firm that provides the earliest round of funding to startups. I'm going to read an excerpt from the essay, and I think you'll immediately see the parallels to our own industry. Here we go. There are two kinds of schedules, which I call the manager's schedule and the maker's schedule. The manager's schedule is for bosses. It is embodied in the traditional appointment book, with each day cut into 1-hour intervals. You can block off several hours for a single task if you need to, but by default, you change what you're doing every hour. When you use time that way, it's merely a practical problem to meet with someone. Find an open slot in your schedule, book them, and you're done. Most powerful people are on the manager's schedule. It is the schedule of command, but there's another way of using time that's common among people who make things, like programmers and writers. They generally prefer to use time in units of a half day at least. You can't write or program well in units of an hour. That's barely enough time to get started. When you're operating on a maker's schedule, meetings are a disaster. A single meeting can blow a whole afternoon by breaking it into two pieces that are too small to do anything hard in. So you get it, right? There are people at agencies whose primary responsibility is to produce. These are writers, art directors, coders, I'd even argue strategists. They need to be in a flow state to create things. And then there's the people whose primary job it is to manage the creative process. These are project managers and account people. Now, I'm not saying that they never need uninterrupted time to produce stuff. It's just that making the creative product isn't their main job. So when you have makers and managers that need to exist in the same space, how do you come up with a schedule that works for both of them? And Graham's answers, which are employed by Y Combinator, his answer is to hold office hours. And that's a fixed amount of time at the end of the day, a few times a week, where meetings are allowed to happen. The beauty of this is that it allows the makers those large chunks of time that they need to produce work. So here's my question for you guys, and I'm really curious about it, so I hope you'll answer. But not in the comments section of my blog because I can't figure out how to turn on comments in my WordPress site. You're going to have to email me, at least for now. You can send me a video response. I think that would be a lot of fun too. My question is, does your company or do you employ any kind of office hours or like a meeting no-fly zone to protect your productivity? Give me an example and tell me if it's been successful. Thanks, and I'll see you again soon.